Hello folks, and welcome to the EV lease deals of the month for February. This is a bit of a bumper edition. We've got quite a lot of cars in here. There are some that we've seen in previous videos, so I'm not hanging around on those, and I'm trying to whip through as many as possible. As usual, all these are 3 months up front, 3-year deals on 10,000 miles a year. Keep watching. As usual folks, you've got my link to Lease Loco in the video description and pinned as a top comment. Please use that if you inquire on any of these cars. Fiat 500, 87 kilowatt Icon, 42 kilowatt hour, 3-door, electric, obviously because we're on the electric EV deals. And it's an automatic, as you would expect. 186 miles combined, but it claims a city range of 286, which is quite interesting. Boot space with the seats down is 550 litres, with the seats up 185, so it's enough to do a little shop. And it's just a city car, isn't it? It is every bit the city car, this thing. And great looking little cars, brilliant fun to drive, make great EVs actually. Price wise, these have been up sort of well over £300 a month, and at the moment it's not too bad. It's been a little bit cheaper, sort of back end of October is a little bit cheaper, but at the moment 1155 up front, 265 a month, and delivery in less than 4 weeks, which is really good at the moment and not the easiest thing to get, is it? Next we've got the Vauxhall Corsa electric, and much like the Fiat 500, we've seen this in these lease deal videos quite a few times. Price wise, it's where it's been most of the time, although it has had some silly little peaks along the way. 878 up front, 292 a month. There's also an in-stock Corsa at the moment, which is this one's the 100 kilowatt Elite Premium 50 kilowatt hour. That one's the Elite Nav Premium. I think it's about 20 quid a month more than this, but in stock or delivery within 4 to 8 weeks, something like that. So just to let you know, if you don't want to wait, there are some other options around. Combined claimed on that's 222 miles, 267 litres of boot space. It's quite a lot roomier than the Fiat 500, and they're nice little cars. I like them. Enough said. Insurance group 25, by the way. Don't forget with these EVs, they're always going to be a slightly higher insurance group because generally they perform better, they're more expensive, and sometimes they catch fire. MG UKZS, right, 115 kilowatt SE EV long range, 73 kilowatt hour, 5-door automatic. This one gives you 273 miles combined range and 470 litres of boot space. We've seen these lots of times before, so I'm not going to dwell again. Just to say, it's more expensive than it was kind of November, December time, but it's consistently going to be around this, and it's good value for money. That kind of car, that kind of space in an EV, it's pretty well put together as well. 1100 quid up front, 296 a month is not a bad shout. Right, next the DS3 electric crossback. So we've seen the petrol version of this a few times in the lease deals of the month, but I think this is the first time we've seen the EV. I'm not sure, but it's just the best price it's been since March, hence it's here. 200 miles claim combined range, 290 around the city, 0-62 in 8.7 seconds, insurance group 27. 350 litres of boot space with the seats up, so that's more like your VW Golf sort of size boot. 260 newton meters of torque, 136 horsepower. Obviously these are a bit of a love-hate design, but they're definitely interesting things to look at, aren't they? Very French, very cool interior, I think. I really like that a lot. So 1272 up front, 324 a month, and that's in stock, by the way. So you can get that one very quickly. Go and check out Surfshark and use my link, which is in the video description and pinned as the top comment. I've been using Surfshark for a couple of years now, and what it is a VPN. That means you can trick your internet, your phone, your computer, your TV, any device to think you're in another country. Why is that useful? Firstly, it helps you protect your online identity. Secondly, it stops eavesdropping from hackers, governments, corporations. Thirdly, you can fool your device to think you're in another country, which means you might be able to access things like the US version of Netflix, which has got tons of different content to the UK version. Massively useful. And it also comes with ad blockers, so you don't get pesky ads popping up on your internet browsing. Now use my link and you'll get an amazing 82% discount from Surfshark. You get 2 months up front as a free trial and you get 82% off. If you sign up for 2 years, you can get it for £1.69 a month, which is incredible. And the best thing is, using that link helps support the channel. So enjoy that US Netflix, enjoy protected browsing in future, and thanks for supporting the channel. Next is the Vauxhall Vivaro Elife. This is a 100 kilowatt Combi L, 50 kilowatt hour, 5-door auto. Now, we did show this last month. I'm just going to show it again because everything I said about it last month still makes sense. It's very practical. You can fit a load of people in it, but it's got very limited range. So I'm not going to dwell on it. 143 miles of range, which I think is pretty rubbish. There are people that it will come in useful for. I think you sit 8 people in it. Just bear in mind that range is extremely limited. Price-wise, it's there or thereabouts. It's sort of dropped throughout the years. It's had a little peak again right now, but it's still decent value if you need that size of EV, albeit with a massive compromise, which is that electric range. Right, Vauxhall Mokka E. Again, I think we've seen this one. 100 kilowatt ultimate, 50 kilowatt hour, 5-door auto. So these were 522, 431, 405, 432, currently 1400 up front, 366 a month. Right, group 23 on the insurance, 0 to 60 in 9.2 seconds, 0 to 62, sorry. 136 brake horsepower, combined 209 mile range. Boot space with the seats up is 310 litres, with them down is 1060 litres. I think this is going to be a really big seller for Vauxhall. I think it's a bit of a return to form for them, if you like. I think it's a very, very good looking car. Looks a bit like an exciting Skoda somehow, but I don't know. That's how I would describe that styling. Very technical, I know. But there we go. Nice looking car. They're getting a lot of interest. I get lots of messages from people, as you can probably imagine, asking me about certain things. And lots of people are asking me deals on Mokkas. Well, there you go. There's one. Right, Peugeot 2E 2008. So this is the electric 2008, 100 kilowatt GT Premium, 50 kilowatt hour, 5-door auto. And you can see price-wise, apart from a little bit of funny business between sort of April and July last year, that's pretty much where it has been for quite a long period of time. 1100 up front, 387 a month. That's 291 miles of range in that car, so that's really quite decent. 291 miles of range is shown there, but that's city range, so I would imagine your combined's going to be more like 200. 0 to 62 in 9.2, 136 brake horsepower, 434 litres. I mean, this is going to be the same running gear as in that Vauxhall Mokka, to be fair. So think of it as a Mokka in different clothes. Group 27 on the car insurance and 260 Newton meters of torque. Next is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is where the more interesting stuff starts, folks, in my opinion. By interesting, I probably mean more costly, in fairness. Right, so this is the 125 kilowatt premium 58 kilowatt hour version. There are loads of these on deals at the moment, and you can find pretty much every spec level, every different battery version, etc. Price-wise, it's nothing phenomenal, but it's about as low as it's been, apart from, you know, sort of 15.5 seconds in November there. It's about as good as it's been in a little while. So price-wise is nothing phenomenal, but it's there or thereabouts to where it's been, which, as we know, in the current climate, with this crazy supply issue that's going on, cars that haven't gone up in price are actually a bit of a deal right now. So you're looking at 1,640 up front and 480 a month. And what does that give you? Rear-wheel drive, Group 29 on the car insurance, 170 brake horsepower, 350 Newton meters of torque, 8.5 to 62, and combined 240 miles of range. You've got a really usable 527 litres of boot space, and one of the most practical and spacious cabins you'll get in a car of its class. These are great, these things, they really are. Obviously, it's like the sister car or brother car to the Kia EV6. The EV6 being perhaps a little bit more traditional, a little bit more sporty, this being a bit more retro and funky. I love them both, in fairness. Right, next we've got the Polestar II. Again, there are different versions of these knocking around. You can get the long range one for about 40 quid a month more right now. This is a really good price currently. These have been sort of up there basically since they launched, and this is quite a decent price at the moment. As you can see, like 576, 548, just sort of slowly and steadily come down. So we're now looking at 1,600 up front and 500 a month. That gets you 249 miles of combined range, 359 city, 0 to 62 in 7.4, 224 brake horsepower and 330 Newton meters of torque. You've got 405 litres of boot space, and it's insurance group 34. This really is the most natural rival to the Tesla Model 3, in as much as it's probably aimed at that company car driver. It's got more of sort of an executive feel rather than the Tesla's very different. This is a more traditional quality premium car, and the Tesla's a very different kind of car. It's got the new Google infotainment system, which is absolutely brilliant, and anyone familiar with Volvo vehicles will see a lot of little styling cues from Volvo in one of these. As I said, you can get the long range version of this for about 40 quid or 44 pounds a month more right now as I'm recording this. So if you do need a bit more in range, you're not going to have to break the bank to do it right now. Next, we've got the Mercedes-Benz EQA. Again, very cool looking cars, these things. I like them a lot. I particularly like that big light that stretches all the way along the back. It's very cool. Anyway, enough about the looks. Price-wise, these things have been up and down more often than a yo-yo. You're looking at $1,974 up front and $538 a month. Not an exceptionally good price at the minute. It's just one of those cars that's roughly there or thereabouts to where it's been. And at the moment, that's a bit of an achievement. Looking at Group 37 on the car insurance, 190 horsepower, 370 newton meters of torque, so that's really good. 8.9 seconds to 62. Combined claimed range of 260 miles. Then boot space with the seats up's 340 litres. I'd like a bigger boot on a car like this. This is like your family SUV, and I think 400 litres would probably be a bit more practical for this kind of car. Having said that, it's a really nice looking car. The range is going to be very livable for most people. Kia EV6 that I've just been speaking about whilst discussing the Ioniq 5. As you can see, this is about the cheapest it's been, and delivery in 4 to 8 weeks. This particular one is the 236 kilowatt GT line, 77.4 kilowatt hour, and it's the all-wheel drive version. 195 miles combined claimed range on this, 0 to 62 in 5.2 seconds, a massive 605 newton meters of torque, wow, 321 horsepower, Group 40 on the car insurance, so it's right up there, 50 being the max, and you've got 490 litres of boot space. Very, very similar car to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. This one's got different clothes on. I think they both suit slightly different markets, but gorgeous looking cars, no doubt about it. And I think Kia will do very, very well with this. Next, we've got the Audi e-tron Sportback. Big money on this one, isn't it? 2.5 grand up front, 830 quid a month. However, that's actually a bit of a deal. It's hard, isn't it, to say 2.5 grand down and 800 quid a month's a deal, but it is. These are obviously premium cars, and they're for people with the budget to spend on one. It's about 100 quid a month less than it was literally a couple of weeks ago. This one's in stock. Right, what do you get for that sort of money? You get 0 to 62 in 5.7 seconds. You get 408 brake horsepower, 664 newton meters of torque, 615 litres of boot space, which is great. Combined range of 255 miles is claimed, and it's Group 48 on the car insurance. As you would expect, a premium car like this is going to be right up there on the car insurance, and obviously it's got some performance as well. Very nice looking car. It's got that familiar Audi interior. I like it. I wouldn't spend that on one, but I like it. Right, we've got two very interesting cars just to finish off here, and they're both basically the same things. The Taycan, but we've got the Taycan in its normal guise, and then we've got the Taycan Cross Turismo. When I die, put me in one of those and just drive it off a cliff or into the ground. I like that car a lot. I really do. Look at that. I think that's an astounding looking car. I actually much prefer these in Cross Turismo guise than I do in the standard Taycan guise. But there we go. I'd have either of them, to be fair. 3,600 up front and 1,171 a month, and this one's about £2 difference. The Cross Turismo is actually cheaper, bizarrely, but by, a couple of quid. Combined range 326 miles, 4 seconds, 0 to 62, 650 newton meters of torque, 571 brake horsepower, Group 50, obviously. Doesn't give you the boot space in this. I know in the Cross Turismo it's about 460, something like that, which is pretty usable for this kind of car. And oh, look at that thing. Ooh. This new Taycan Cross Turismo, I'm sure I read somewhere if you use one of these Ionity chargers, you can take the battery from 0 to 80% in something like 23 minutes. pretty impressive stuff really, isn't it? So pricing on both those cars really is not for the faint-hearted, but do you expect to get a cheap Porsche? Probably not. I just thought I'd include these in this video because this one makes me happy. There you go. I hope you like that one, folks. Please show your appreciation with a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it when you give a thumbs up. And please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. I've got tons of EV content coming to the channel in future and lots of car leasing content. And if you're new to leasing and you're not sure about it, do go through my back catalogue because there are loads of videos explaining leasing and various things connected to it. Thanks very much for watching. Maybe go and check this video out next. Hope to see you again soon.